Hey, brothers and sisters, thanks for joining. I just saw another what I consider crazy story come out of the UK. We'll see what you guys think about it. But let's see what we got here. So, Daily Mail, and this is today, I believe. Police hunt tube vigilantes. What? Exclusive. Vigilante tube passengers face arrest over assault of a naked man on the tube after they took the law into their own hands when he dropped his trousers on a packed carriage. Oh boy. Let that sink in for a second. I'm not going to watch that video. Well, maybe I will. Let's watch the video and see what it is here. Yes, looks like there's a bystander that's got video. It's like about three men were kicking and punching another man, and it looks like they got him on the ground. So, appears members of the public detained this guy. All right, so there we've seen the video. All right, so there we have it. Now you've seen the actual video. Let's read the story. So it's Martin Robinson, one of their chief reporters at the Daily Mail, wrote this on August 11th, and today's August 11th. This is breaking news. Commuters who took the law into their own hands when a tube passenger dropped his trousers in a packed London underground carriage could face arrest, the Daily Mail can reveal today. British Transport Police believe the naked man, who has since been detained under the Mental Health Act, was assaulted on the District Line in East London. Up to four men stepped in when he repeatedly refused to pull up his pants at 3:30 p.m. last Thursday. He was pinned to the floor, carried off the train before being arrested by an off-duty police officer. But detectives are probing whether the vigilantes committed any criminal offenses in the confrontation after he refused to pull up his pants. BTP has appealed for witnesses to the incident, but there have been no arrests over the brawl. Good. I'm sorry, guys. You should not be arresting members of the public for detaining a man who is very obviously, breaking the law. It's crazy to really do more than a cursory investigation here. And I know they were violent with him, but he wasn't responding, so you got to be violent. That's okay. It's one thing, that the British and Americans see a little differently. In Britain, it seems like, all the guns got taken away for everyone's safety. But in America, and they think Americans are all like obsessed with guns. Really, no, Americans aren't obsessed with guns. Americans are obsessed with not being victims and taking care of matters themselves. And it's really a rural versus an urban mindset is the way I see it. If you live in big packed cities close together, there's lots of people, so you've got relatively high number of public resources, police and other things. Out in the city, out in the country, you have to take care of things for yourself because it takes a while for the police to get there. So people in the country are used to just dealing with problems themselves. And I get this is in a city environment, but no. If the police aren't there to handle it, the members of the public should be 100% justified. Now, if they had actually injured him where he needed medical treatment, okay, maybe there's a problem there. But if they just were doing what they thought they needed to do to detain him and get him under control, I don't see any problem. And I know it looks bad that in this picture this guy is kicking him, but sometimes that's what you got to do in a fight to stop somebody. And 100% it's a fight, but there's a dude with no pants on the train. I don't think any reasonable person could think that that's just okay, and we'll just let him go about his business. All right, so an investigation into the incident is ongoing, and I applaud these members of the public for detaining the man who was a threat to other people, and there may have been kids on that train. I think I heard one of the members of the public saying there are kids on this train. Passengers repeatedly asked him to put his genitals away and get off the train. That's a great line that I didn't think I'd ever read. He responded by waving his belt and screaming, so the group attacked him. British Transport Police said in a statement that the naked man was assaulted. Yes, he was assaulted, but how else are you going to get him to put his junk away? Here's a picture. I mean, the man's got his pants around his ankles. What, people are just supposed to put up with that? Nonsense. I hope the judge does the right thing here, or the police do the right thing and not prosecute this guy. The Daily Mail revealed how he began yelling after the eastbound train traveled between Upton Park and East Ham. He then dropped his trousers and put his belt around his neck. His bottom and genitals were on show, sparking anger and revulsion around him on the train, which was busy with children who were on their summer holidays. A passenger stood up and quickly confronted him, gesticulating angrily. He politely and firmly told him, "You need to get off the train." But the man began repeatedly yelling, "Fuck off." The commuter said in response, "What do you mean, fuck off? You need to get off this fucking train now. There are kids on here." And I might get in trouble with YouTube. A lot of F-bombs. But I'm just reading the news. Footage of the incident showed up on up to 4 men kicking and punching the naked man who was hitting them with his belt. The video then cut to him being pinned to the floor of the carriage. The man was then unceremoniously carried onto the tube platform at East Ham and dumped to the floor. He was then pinned down as commuters tried to alert staff. It appears an off-duty police officer was on the train and performed an arrest and was taken to hospital. Where was the police officer during all of this? If the police officer was there, maybe he was in another carriage, but he should have been there arresting the man. Obviously, he didn't get involved. It doesn't look like till the man was off the train. So what are they supposed to do? Just stand there and let the guy, wave around in all his glory? It is yet another horrifying incident on the tube, which is run by Sir Sadiq Khan's Transport for London. Since becoming mayor in 2016, tube crime rates have more than doubled. And today he has been accused of ignoring a manifesto pledge to maintain a 24-hour police front counter in every borough in the capital. Just last month, a brawl broke out on the steps of a packed station with screaming toddler and ending up on the floor in the chaos. On Thursday, a group of men surrounded the man who exposed himself and repeatedly ordered him to pull your effing trousers up. I'll be good that time. A scuffle then broke out. The naked man was trying to hit them with his belt, and the group was punching and kicking him. The man snatched away his belt, pinned him to the floor of the carriage while putting his arms behind his back, still with the trousers around his ankles. Passengers then yelled, "We've got to get him off." He was then removed and arrested. Chaos erupts at Highbury and Islington Station where a brawl breaks out. Yeah. So this is a different incident. I'm thinking where members of the public are taking the law into their own hands again, I guess. Don't know the status. Oh yeah, here's what they were talking about, where a toddler gets thrown to the floor in the chaos. The tube crime map. How dangerous is your station? So I'm not going to look at that really. You guys, I'll link this story in here so you can look at this true tube crime map if you're interested. I'm not going to take the time to look at it. London's lawless underground. All right, so crimes per million passengers. Oh my God, what happened in January 2020? Is this right after Sadiq Khan took over? Is that what they were talking about earlier? Because really what I see here, this is all a reflection of soft on crime policies by liberal politicians. When people are soft on crime, bad things happen. I guess it could be COVID. So I guess you could try to blame this on COVID, but really, I would say I think it said he took over in 2019, and then crime went up It's still today. It looks like they tried something here for a little bit at the end of COVID. Really, COVID should have suppressed crime because people were people riding the train during COVID. Were you allowed to ride the train? I don't even know. But it looks like it's back up at higher rates again. So Sadiq Khan needs to get a control of crime in his city. This just is not right. The Daily Mail revealed London's most dangerous tube and train stations earlier this year. More than 4,100 crimes were recorded in 24 at King's Cross, Pancras alone. That's crazy. One of the capital's busiest terminals. 4,100 crimes in a year in one station? Wow. This is more than any other station on the TfL's entire network. Yeah, I like my Oyster card and traveling the tube. It's very convenient. It's the best way to get around London. But if crimes like this, I might have to start taking taxis again. I don't know, or the bus. They're not as convenient. They're harder for me to understand how to get places and get. But and the tube's so easy. But that's a lot of crime. Need to stay away from King's Cross, St. Pancras. However, when taking passenger numbers into account, the most dangerous station is Poplar on the Docklands Light Railway near Canary Wharf. Canary Wharf, I would think that, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would think that is a tourist kind of place. And so I guess tourists are probably being attacked, or, well, some kind of crime. Statistics collated by the BTP and TfL show 46 crimes were committed at the stop on the self-driving line last year. I don't know what that is. This equated to a rate of 58.7 offenses for every million passengers. It was followed by Cockfosters, the northern terminus of the Piccadilly line, with 57.4 crimes per million, and then King's Cross St. Pancras, 51.4. Since Sir Sadiq became mayor in 2016, okay, it was 16 he became mayor, tube crime rates have more than doubled from 90 per every million journeys to more than 21 last March. Oh, no, from not 90. They've gone from 9 per million to 21 per million. Okay. I was going to say that's not twice, but yeah, 9 to 21. Yeah, that's not good. Similar offenses have risen on the Overground and DLR, which have opened on 2022. So yeah, with so much crime, of course the members of the public are getting frustrated and having to take the law into their own hands. If you don't have police officers able to take care of it, people have to take care of themselves. Don't be a victim. The Daily Mail's analysis comes after shock statistics laid bare the ever-worsening crime epidemic plaguing commuters who have fallen victim to violent, racist, sexist, and anti-Semitic assaults. One woman was even whipped in the face with a belt in a sickening attack at Green Park Station in January. Libin Ahmed, handed a suspended 18-month prison sentence for the attack, was caught on film shouting as he moved up and down the platform trying to avoid two men trying to grab him. Yeah, you need to stop suspending sentences. This is the problem. If you throw some of these knuckleheads in jail and give them a serious sentence, 18 months, not enough. Give them 5 years. You do that a couple of times, people will stop and start behaving themselves. When you're soft on crime, you get more crime. In a fit of rage, the 27-year-old lashed out with his belt, catching a woman trying to board the train. Mansoor Ahmed, 30, was last month jailed for 26 months and slapped on the sex offenders registry for a decade after he sexually assaulted 2 women on the train. So 2 years... and then a sex offender for assault, for sexual assault. 2 years is enough. Give him more. Like I said, you guys are being too soft. That's why these things are happening. On September 6, 2020, Ahmed sexually assaulted a woman walking up the stairs at Gloucester Road. And just a few months later, on November 20, he assaulted another woman down the steps at Charing Cross. Yep. Jaya Pathak, who campaigned for more action against sexual harassment on the tube after she was assaulted last year, told Daily Mail that the situation was getting worse. Miss Pathak, 27, was harassed by a man who continually stared at her for several stops, then pretended to be drunk and rested his head on her shoulder on a Victoria Line train to Walthamstow last April. He tried to make it look as if he was nodding off as an excuse to touch me. Then I pushed him off, and he laughed it off and kept staring, said Miss Patek, who works in foreign policy. She said the man even beckoned to her to get off the train at Black Horse Road, the stop before she was due to get off at the end of the line. As the station platform was virtually empty, at the terminus, she felt unsafe as no staff could have been there to stop if things turned sour. Ms. Pathak has called for TfL staff emptier end of line stations. I don't know, to staff emptier end of line stations as a deterrent to would-be sexual predators who may not be acting if somebody else is watching. So a lot is underground. So the Sadiq Khan took over in 2016 here, and then here's what happened with crime on the underground. It's gotten worse, 100% gotten worse. London's most dangerous station. I'll leave that. You guys can read it. Give it there for a second. You guys can go back and read this. Homeless man, Brawa Shorsh, I don't know how to say that. Sorry if I messed your name up. Pushed an innocent stranger, Tadzuk Podazek, onto the tracks at Oxford Circus underground station just, excuse me, seconds before the train pulled in 24. Mr. Podazek had been hurrying home to catch a flight and was looking at the arrivals board when he was attacked in what prosecutor Sam Barker described as the thing of nightmares. Yeah. Getting pushed onto the tracks. That's about the scariest thing that can happen in a train station. The Kurdish migrant had claimed he'd targeted the 6-year-old in revenge after thinking Mr. Podazek had given him a dirty look. Fortunately, Mr. Podazek, a postman, missed the electrified rail and was helped back onto the platform by a passerby who rushed to his aid. The driver had put an emergency brake, and his train was just 4 seconds away from hitting the victim. Wow, this guy was lucky. Shorsh, who had accumulated convictions of assault and indecent acts since arriving in Britain in 2019, had denied trying to kill his victim, claiming he did not know a train was arriving at the time. Okay, that's BS. Anyone who, I'll go on record, anyone who pushes anyone onto a track should be arrested and throw the book at him for attempted murder. The trains can't stop, and you never know when the next train is coming. That's just crazy. In July last year, that year, he was found guilty of attempted murder by a jury at Inner London Court. And just 32 minutes of deliberations, he was jailed for life with a minimum term of 8 years. Good. So good. This guy got attempted murder. I think that's good. Life with a minimum of 8 years. I think that's an appropriate sentence. A Jewish man wearing a kippah, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, I'm not Jewish, suffered a display of vile anti-Semitism on the Northern Line last March when a vaping pastor said, "Your religion kills Muslims." The victim filmed the argument where the pastor said, "You've done a lot, you're wearing the hat." The man who shared footage with the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism accused the vapor of being anti-Semitic. Absolutely, 100% he's anti-Semitic if he's yelling at a guy just because he's wearing a Jewish hat. Across all underground, overground, DLR, Elizabeth Line stations, 38,000 crimes were reported to BTP in 24. This is equivalent to 104 a day. Data includes crimes committed at stations themselves and those committed on trains either at or arriving into the station. Terminus stations can be overrepresented in the on-train crime figures because if the exact location is unknown, it may be recorded as having happened at the end of the line. Okay, I see that. After King's Cross St. Pancras, the fourth most dangerous tube stop is Epping, Essex. The northern the northeastern terminus of the Central Line. Fifth is Upminster Bridge, East London on the District Line. All right, I'm getting tired of reading about all these stations, and my nose is itchy because my cat bumped me in the face. He's got hair on my face, and it's itchy. Probably need to wash my face. However, several Elizabeth Line stations. All right, I'm not going to read that. Okay, I've had enough reading about all these different stations. I'm getting bored. Hopefully, you guys aren't getting bored. All right, so let's just get back to it. So the London Underground is not safe. That's what I'm reading here, and they're members of the public are getting into scuffles, with criminals. That's what I'm reading, and again, in this case, see, the Mail is dramatizing this and calling the people vigilantes because there's a negative connotation to the word vigilantes. No, these are just members of the public taking care of business when the police aren't around. I applaud them. I'm glad they took care of business. They apprehended the person and held him till a police officer could take custody of him. That's what I would call this, and I would like to see more of it. And if any of these guys get charged, from what I saw in the video, that'll be a travesty of justice. Yep, I get it. I watched the video. A couple of the guys kicked this man, and they were fighting. But I call this mutual combat, 4 against 1 or whatever. Yep, I know you might not like that, but all they did was detain him. If they didn't do serious injury to him, then I think they should be fine. Now, if they did serious injury, then maybe I could go along with assault, an assault charge, but it would have, if I was on the jury, it would have to be a really serious injury. And I didn't see what looked like serious injuries. I just saw some guys fighting and mutual combat with a crazy man. And I say this a lot. We in the West, we need better mental health resources. We need to be spending more money on mental health because there's just a lot of crazy people out there. That's just how it is. So that's what I think. If you like and subscribe. If you didn't like, don't watch. If I got something wrong, tell me in the comments. Or even if I got something right, tell me in the comments. Thanks, everyone. Bye.